The invitation arrived on a quiet evening, folded in cream paper that felt heavier than it should have, as if it carried the weight of everything she had tried so hard to forget. Her hands trembled when she saw the familiar names printed together, her ex's name and the woman he had chosen over her, announcing a future she was once promised. It felt cruel how life sometimes waits until you start healing, only to press on the deepest bruise again. She had survived the breakup, the betrayal, the nights of self-doubt, but this felt like being asked to smile while standing in the ruins of her own past. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet strength it takes to keep going when life breaks your heart, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive. She had promised herself she would not go, yet the invitation sat on her table for days, whispering reminders of unfinished emotions. The wedding was not just a ceremony, it was a public confirmation that she had been replaceable. Friends told her to ignore it, to protect her peace. But there was something unresolved inside her. She did not want him back, but she wanted to prove to herself that she was no longer the woman he left behind, crying into pillows and questioning her worth. She wanted to walk into that hall whole, confident and untouched by his choices. The problem was simple and devastating at the same time. She did not want to go alone. Her life, on paper, looked stable. A decent job, a small apartment she had made her own, and routines that helped her survive. But emotionally, she still felt like she was rebuilding brick by brick. Somewhere between late nights at work and early mornings on crowded buses, she had met him, the CEO, powerful, composed, admired from a distance. Their worlds should never have crossed, yet circumstances had brought them into brief, professional contact. He was known for his sharp mind and colder reputation, a man who had everything except softness. She had never imagined asking him for anything, let alone this. The message she sent him was impulsive, written after midnight when courage feels easier because sleep is close. She did not expect a reply, and if she did, she expected a polite excuse. Instead, his response was calm and unexpected. He agreed. No questions, no hesitation, just a simple confirmation that felt unreal. She read it over and over, wondering if she was making a mistake inviting someone so far removed from her emotional chaos. She did not know then that this decision would quietly change both their lives. In the days leading up to the wedding, doubt crept in. She questioned her motives, her strength, and whether she was using another human being as armor against pain. The CEO, on the other hand, approached it with an odd seriousness. Beneath his composed exterior, he carried his own scars. Success had cost him intimacy. He was respected, feared even, but deeply alone. Agreeing to attend a stranger's emotional battlefield should have been inconvenient, yet something about her honesty, the rawness of her request, stirred something long buried in him. The wedding day arrived wrapped in sunlight and soft music. She stood before a mirror, adjusting a dress she chose not to impress but to feel like herself again. Her reflection showed nerves, yes, but also resilience. When he arrived to pick her up, the contrast between them was striking. His calm steadiness next to her quiet vulnerability created an unexpected balance. For the first time in months, she felt grounded. Walking into the venue was like stepping into a memory she had tried to erase. Familiar faces turned, whispers floated through the air, and then she saw him, her ex, happy, confident, untouched by the damage he had left behind. For a brief moment, the old pain threatened to rise, but then she felt it, a presence, beside her. The CEO did not need to say anything. His steady pace, his respectful distance, his silent support spoke louder than comfort ever could. As the ceremony began, emotions tangled inside her chest. She expected jealousy, anger, regret. Instead, she felt something else, closure. Watching the man she once loved vow his future to someone else, she realized how much she had outgrown that version of herself who begged to be chosen. The vows echoed through the hall, words of forever and promises of loyalty. She did not look away. She stayed, She listened, and in doing so, she let go. What she did not know was that the CEO was staying too, not out of obligation, but because something in him was shifting. Watching her sit there, eyes glossy but proud, he saw a strength rarely celebrated. She was not dramatic, not loud in her pain. She was brave in her silence. He had spent years in boardrooms full of powerful voices, yet none moved him the way her quiet resilience did in that moment. The reception unfolded with laughter and music. She smiled when expected, spoke when spoken to, and felt surprisingly light. The heaviness she had carried for so long was loosening its grip. The CEO watched her from a respectful distance, noticing details he never paid attention to before. The way she laughed without trying to impress. The way she listened more than she spoke. The way her sadness did not make her bitter but kinder. As the evening went on, something subtle changed between them, not romance in the dramatic sense but understanding. Two people standing at very different points in life, connected by an unexpected moment of truth. She no longer felt like she needed him there to prove anything, and he no longer felt like he was just a favor filling an awkward role. When the night finally ended, she realized she was not relieved that it was over. She was grateful she came. The wedding did not reopen her wounds, it sealed them. She had faced her past without hiding, without pretending. And in doing so, she discovered a version of herself that no longer needed validation from someone who failed to see her worth. For the CEO, that night lingered long after. It challenged the walls he had built so carefully. He had attended countless events, signed deals worth millions, but none had left him questioning his priorities the way this simple act of kindness did. Saying yes to her request was not just about being a date, it was about being present, about witnessing healing, about realizing that power without connection is empty. Days passed, then weeks. Life returned to its rhythm, but something had undeniably shifted. She walked taller, her mornings felt lighter. She no longer replayed old conversations in her head, and he, despite his success, found himself thinking not about profit margins, but about empathy, about showing up, about staying when it would be easier to leave. Their paths continued to cross, not because of obligation, but because both had learned something valuable that day. Healing does not always come from grand gestures or perfect endings. Sometimes it comes from choosing to face pain honestly, and from strangers who show up without trying to fix you. If this story has touched your heart even a little, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who might be carrying silent pain, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps bring more stories of hope and healing to life. Before this story ends, I have one special request. Please comment below with a single word that describes how this story made you feel. Your words matter, and someone reading them might feel less alone. In the end, the wedding was not about loss but release, not about an ex moving on, but about a woman reclaiming herself, and not about a CEO doing a favor, but about a human being rediscovering the power of compassion. Life does not always give us the endings we expect, but sometimes it gives us the ones we need. And sometimes, staying for the vows is not about the couple at the altar, but about silently promising yourself that you will never abandon your own worth again,